relationships part 2. I just have to figure out what to actually talk about. Oh god, there's so much. I mean, I could go into... So basically, Gosh, it's really hard to actually, like, think of something to talk about, because, like, I don't want to go into crazy story time. Because, like, it's kind of personal, and it's kind of, like, yucky to actually talk about when I know that there's people that, like, watch my videos that were in the same experience as me. Like, experience the same thing, same situation. So, like, I might just start with triggers. I have, like, a couple. And then we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, I think relationships part 2 would have to be planned, because there's some stuff that I do want to talk about and stuff that I don't want to, just because it's like, it's actually just difficult to talk about because it's hard to word things, you know? It's nothing bad, but it's like, it's so, like me talking about like heartbreak and that sort of thing, that's not easy to talk about, you know, because that's a universal thing. The new stuff that's happened in like the past 4 months is like unique stuff that like doesn't happen universally. Like, it's not easy to talk about without going into specifics, you know? If that makes any sense, but my stomach, oh my god. We adjusted my chair. I adjusted my chair ahead of time, so there's no needing to go up and down. I do have a calligraphy marker, calligraphy pen. It is an Itoya double-headed acid-free ink CL10 calligraphy pen. It's not that special. I just got it from a university shop like a year ago, just under a year ago. So we've got the thick side. It's like a flathead screwdriver almost. Just hold still. I just want you to look right where my finger is while I do this. Oh gosh, that's actually... Wait, I gotta switch hands. I'm left-handed. The open area is difficult to work with here now because I'm on the opposite side. Yeah, I did move my computer over to the other side of my desk, so like the arrangement and all that is like different. Just look right where my finger is right here. And don't look anywhere else. Ignore this. Try keeping your peripheral, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, that's my chair. I can't lie, the background noise is actually really relaxing. The AC. The other side. Here, look at this. It's thinner, but it's more like a brush, you know? So, I want you to look which is kind of crazy. Just like we're in Canada, Canada doesn't get tornadoes. A little beat going there. Gotta breathe, but I don't want to breathe into the mic, you know? I'm trying to keep it kind of like really sensitive this time, so we're gonna increase the gain. Let's just decrease the volume of my headphones just in case. You should now be at maximum sensitivity. It should be extremely crisp. Sorry, the swallowing was kind of loud. We're good. Okay. Oh shit, hold on, we're getting a little bit of feedback. Whatever you're going through, state of your life, just know that, like, you can't control the past, and you can't control the future, but what you can control is how you react to the future, and learn from the past, but don't dwell on it, because that's how you get people, that's how you get stuck in almost like a limbo of being sad over the same thing and not being able to move on. I think that happens to a lot of people. Oh, sorry. A lot of stuff. Oh, but just know that they're your absolute closest friends. They always have, no matter what, and family. Will be there to support you, regardless of what you do, what type of person you turn into, you know. And the thing is, I think a lot of people misinterpret what, like, love actually is. I don't know if I've talked about it already, but, like, love is not, it's not about loving the idea of them, or, like, the bird love, like, you know, the feeling that you get, or, you know, the idea of them is what I'm saying. It takes a lot of, like, breath capacity to talk this much quietly without breathing loudly. I'm not kidding. It's actually, this might be the most difficult. This might be manual labor at this point. they've done and bad things that they've done. The people who see through that sort of thing and just see you for who you are the ones that you want to keep around. And I learned a lot of that sort of thing. I don't know. I've always been like the type of person to like think like a lot, like reflect, like emotionally aware in a sense, you know, like, and I think that's a really, really good trait to have, like really good skill. Not necessarily skill, but like, it's a good thing that everyone can learn. And all it takes is having a more open mind and having a clear mind, right? In order to get into a clear mind, you gotta not necessarily try and fight the things that are putting you down in life, but simply push them to the side. It's like saying, when you're flying, you know, I don't know if I talked about it on stream or anything, but say you're flying a plane, right? And I heard this from somewhere. I don't remember who or where. Instead of the instructor telling the pilot to go to avoid the ring, like saying don't hit the ring, he says go through the ring. Because when you say go through the ring, all that pilot is thinking about, or like the guy who's being trained, is going through the ring. He's not thinking about the ring, he's just thinking about getting through the ring. But if you say don't hit the ring, like, as in saying, like, you know, like, when I say ring, it's like a hollow ring, you know, like at circuses, like a hoop, basically. But if you say don't hit the ring, or say avoid touching the ring, that all the pilot's going to think about is the ring itself and not hitting it, which makes them focus on the ring itself, because that is the subject, versus the subject being the hole, or just going through it. You know? All that takes, that's all it takes, is a change in wording. And, you know, things can change. I got a cough, hold on. But that's an important mindset. And it can be really hard to change your mindset when there's so much negativity or, you know, adversity. I'm using essay words right now. It's really difficult when there's so much, it feels like everything's just gone wrong for you, you know? And I think that's, a lot of people experience that, and it makes them feel really put down, and then it lowers their self-respect, which makes their friends see that, and naturally become a little bit more, I guess, either put down, or the friend will like see through that and ask if you're okay. I don't know where I'm going with that. That could be bad or good. When I'm saying like putting friends down, because that doesn't really make sense. But like, it can be like such small things that you do, and it really like adds up like a lot. And there's some people that in your life may not be a really good influence on you. It may be a really negative thing, someone that puts you down, you know, like a friend or a family member who seems to only make things about themselves, you know, and they, for some reason, they don't seem to like ever validate your feelings whenever you're really, really pouring your heart out. Like, here's where I'm gonna get vulnerable. So, my dad has been going on vacation a lot lately. And vacation as in, he's trying to get out of the house to avoid the issues at home. But he is the stem of the issues. Because there was one day, about a month ago, I got home from school, and I basically had like a 6-hour long talk with my dad, and it was more of an argument that went in circles. I was trying so hard to help fix my dad, in a sense that, like, I'm trying to help him. I was trying so hard, because my parents are divorcing, because things aren't going well, things aren't, like, improving, and my fans kicking it, no matter what I did, no matter what I said, no matter how personal I got. Sorry, I'm like, it's hard to, like, not breathe into the mic. He couldn't seem to understand what I was saying. I'm trying to tell him, I'm trying to give him advice to change his mindset, to react to things differently, to provide some sort of empathy, to reflect on himself. And instead of answering questions, all he does is take it, like, completely flip it around, refuses to take any sort of blame for anything, and victimizes himself, dismisses your feelings, and then will make you feel bad. Which I think a lot of people have done. A lot of people deal with this kind of issue, where family members or friends act that way, and it's almost like a narcissistic kind of trait. And it can be really frustrating to have someone so close to you. You know, as you grow up, they don't turn out, you really thought that they were this perfect, great person, and as you grow older, you kind of get a different glimpse on the world. You know, you see things from a different perspective. You find out things that you didn't know once before, and you're like, oh, that's why that was that way. Oh, maybe things like that wasn't normal. Maybe stuff like that when I was little wasn't normal. Maybe that kind of life was different and not great. And you wouldn't have ever seen that or realized that until you saw other things throughout the world. Other families, other situations, other, you know, lives of people that would be considered, healthy or normal. And it's such like a shock, you know, it's like, wow, really? Like, I can't believe I never knew that these things weren't normal. And it almost makes you feel stupid, but I think people also have to realize that you're also young, you were a kid. How could you have known any different? You know, because you don't. You grew up like that. You grew up in a world like that. You wouldn't know any different because that's all you knew. So you can't blame it on yourself. And you can be mad at the other person and have a sense of self-respect and restraint, but stooping down to their level to put them down and yell at them and call them all sorts of terrible things, you know, as sort of like retaliation. It's okay to let emotion out once in a while, like to really let it out. That's good, that's normal. But to consistently do that makes you almost no better than that person. Because you kind of have to find a moral high ground and stick to it. And don't ever break it. Like, I didn't yell at my dad once during that argument. Like, I don't yell. I didn't get angry. Even when I did feel frustrated, I kept my cool. And that prevented it from turning into a yelling match, pretty much. If I had started yelling, he would have started yelling, and vice versa. It would have gotten louder, which is exhausting, and it makes things much harder. It makes it much harder to get certain points across. Regardless of me yelling or not, anyone yelling or not, my dad wouldn't have understood anyways, because he doesn't seem to understand, like, empathy in a sense. And it's really sad, and I think a lot of people struggle with that issue with other people in their lives, and I think a lot of you guys can relate to this, is you try so hard to get, like, the main point is you try so hard to get someone to change. That person just doesn't seem to, like, fundamentally understand It's not like you can just rewire their brains through talking to them. There has to be a limit when you have to learn to just step away and realize this isn't healthy for either of us. You know, this is just going in circles. Like, what's the point? You know, you've tried for so many years to change that person for the better. But it's really up to that person themselves to actually put the effort in to make that change for the better in themselves. And if that person doesn't seem to, like, I would tell my dad, like, I'd give him exact examples and stuff like that of how to improve his mindset so that he could respond to things better, make it easier for him to respond to things more positively, make it easier for him to be more happy. I give him a list. He'll keep talking about stuff, and then he'll be like, so how do I fix it? How do I make things better? And I'm like, I literally just told you. I've spent the past 3 hours giving you things, telling you things. Like, does he not hear me? Is he not listening? Like, it feels like some people, and you can tell, some people just don't listen at all when you're talking to them. Hold on, I gotta clear my throat. And it feels like they're not even listening, and you can tell when they dismiss stuff, they don't answer questions directly. Like, I would really have to try to get my dad to answer questions directly, and he wouldn't. He literally wouldn't. There's a few times where he'd answer, but it would take a long time. It would be very vague. It shows he has not thought things out at all and seen things from a different perspective. And if you're the person who's in that kind of mindset, just know that there are, like I said, always people who are willing to help you. But it all comes down to, it all comes down to you. You have to be the one that makes that change. And if you choose not to make that change, if you choose not to change your mindset by doing little things to help change that mindset, then there are going to be consequences. You are going to lose people that are close to you. There are going to be negative consequences, and you can't get mad at it and blame the other person. You know? And if you do get mad at it, like, something's wrong. Like, you can't, like, it really takes a lot. And I don't know what the ultimatum is going to be for my dad to change. And I don't think he will. I've accepted that my father is not going to change. And I am staying away from him indefinitely. And the only time I record ASMR videos is when my dad isn't here. He's on vacation again. He usually leaves for months on end, and I'm not complaining because God, I'm sweating from this. This is hard to talk about. Like, because my world seems to be so much more positive. I seem to be so much more free. Like, when my dad gets back, it's difficult because he really seems to just let it all out. All these things that he's been thinking about saying, he just so negative. And I think a lot of you guys can relate because every household has its problems. There is no perfect life. God, I'm sweating. Holy shit. There is no perfect example of, like, a childhood. There's always issues. And what matters is that we learn not to take blame for some of these issues that were out of our control. You can be angry about things that you may have lost. Like, I missed out on a good chunk of my childhood. Like, actually having a proper family life, you know? And I don't really want people, like, in the comments, like, trying to, like, I guess console or, like, make me feel better because I am okay. You guys can, like, talk in the comments and stuff like that, but I am doing okay. I am laundry's overflowing, things, you're tripping over stuff in your room, you haven't eaten yet, your computer's glitching, you hear people yelling at you, trying to get you to do stuff, and it's like, you really, like, lose your mind. Like, those are the few times that, like, I've genuinely been mad and frustrated, where, like, I feel lost. And the person who'd always be there was my mom. She'd go out and she'd help me work things out. And I owe her, like, everything. Yeah, and there's always that one person. And if you don't have that one person, then just keep... I actually don't know what to say. If you don't have that one person that's always there to help you out. Because I haven't been there. Even if I felt like that. People say that even if you feel alone, you aren't alone. But there are some people that are genuinely fully alone. And it's like, I don't even know how to help people with that because I haven't been in that situation. And that's where I say it's not my place to give advice for that. Or not necessarily just give advice, but like share experience or my viewpoint of things. But yeah, this video has gotten like completely different than how it started, I guess. I don't know how I'm gonna title it, but I think I'm gonna end it here because it's 12 o'clock and it's been 30 minutes. I hope you guys have a great sleep. I hope this rant, or not rant, this talk, I hope you guys are dozed off. I mean, I guess most of you guys are sleeping already, because I usually just end up falling asleep to the sound of the person's voice during ASMR, regardless of what they're talking about. But I try and make it entertaining, or at least interesting and creative each time. But yeah, I'll upload again in a couple days, because for the next couple days I will be partying, celebrating my graduation, so I will not be uploading for like 3 or 4 days. But I'll be back next week